I just want to compare these two cranks. This is the wide crank and this is the narrow crank, which is the one I'm fitting in the wider cases. So we've just got them clamped together, a couple of straight edges on the flywheels. So straight away you can see that these do line up, so they're the same. I have already measured these. So this journal here from the surface, from the bearing surface under there, thrust bearing surface, or thrust washer surface, to the face of the journal is, I would say that's 28 approximately, and on this one again 28, maybe a fraction under. It's quite hard to get a good, yeah, 28. These up to here, say that's 12 mil, and that one is probably about 11 mil. That might be slightly shorter. And the whole spindle part here is 49, and on this one it's probably 49 and a half. Yeah, 49 and a half. So there's nothing really in those two. Now, so in theory that should go in, because you take up your end float on this side. These journals here, the big ends, should be the same, because these are the same. These are the same width. According to what I've read anyway. I'll just check, but I think I did measure these with a caliper. Yeah, so about 11. About 11. Now the difference is on this side. The old narrow one is again 11 mil, but the later one is much wider. That is, well, I'll say much wider, it's closer to 12 mil. Yeah, so this end is basically pushed out, which is why they machined the extra 50 thou on the inside of the casing where this bearing goes on the later ones. So comparing this end, obviously this is right across there, we've got a gap here. So are these journals the same diameter? In theory they shouldn't be. Just get this old petrol can out of the way. Right. Quite hard to measure this because you haven't really got a proper edge. Because obviously these are rounded. But I would say that is what, I don't know. $19, is it? Looks about 19. And this one, it's hard to get the measurement on. I would say, well, if you went on the where the face is, it's quite a bit narrower, which you would expect. That's closer to 17 there, up to the end of the splines. That side is, let's say, a little over 61. This side should be narrower, which it is. That's a shade under 60, 59.5 maybe. And this here is, if we get on the edge of the machined part, it's probably 90.5, 95.5. And this one is closer to 93.5. And the total length, the narrow one, 118, is it? 119? Yeah, probably 118. And this one is closer to 117, which would make sense. So these really, that one might be slightly shorter, I'm going to guess. If we get a rule across there and I get this, assuming this edge is flat, you'll see that's a little bit a gap there, but it shouldn't make any difference really, because this is pulled in a bit more. As long as there's enough thread here, these are probably the more important ones. $62, $60, yeah, but may need to make a spacer up, but hopefully that should all work out okay. But the main thing is that the big ends are in the same position, so the pistons, collar rods will sit correct in the barrels. Anything on this end I can shim out. This, the timing side end, is all the same, so all is good.